Lir tuhu-tuhu, wanito kito. Lir dahat, apanggung kunang.
So this week we finally got our first chance to go hands-on with the upcoming Civilization V expansion pack, Brave New World. I could go on for hours about the side effects of the nitty-gritty changes, but I thought I would distill my thoughts into 5 major takeaways. So here we go, in no particular order. Number 1, new civs means lots of new toys. Brave New World has 9 new civilizations, and we got to see 2 unannounced ones in this preview build. I got to play as Morocco, a trade-friendly civilization that flourishes in desert tiles and can pretty easily dominate the money game. Also in my game were previously announced new civs like Poland, Brazil, the Assyrians, and the Zulus, but we also met Majagara of Indonesia. Indonesia's first 2 cities built on continents other than their capital get a bonus in the form of 2 unique luxury resources, and those cities can never be razed. They also get a replacement for the swordsman unit, which carries a curvy Chris sword, rumored to have some sort of mystical power.
Deveremos prosperar através do comércio?
In my game, Brazil was a formidable foe in the culture game, Shaka was super aggressive, unsurprisingly, and Poland kept getting bullied by the rest of the world. Sorry, Kazmir.
Jak ci się podoba moja oferta?
I could only play as Morocco, but they suited my playstyle pretty well. I was going for a relatively pacifist playthrough, and while they don't get much of a bonus for the new cultural game, their financial bonus means that you can more easily buddy up with the neighboring city-states. Okay, on to number 2, re-establishing my cultural identity. As you've probably heard by now, Brave New World has an entirely new cultural victory scenario. Gone is the rush to fill up your policy trees, and instead your goal is to become the dominant culture across the world. To do this, you'll need to maximize your tourism output, which is done through 2 big new systems, Great Works and Archaeology. I'll talk about archaeology in a second, but the Great Works system is really cool and about 100 times more interesting than just building culture-producing buildings and wonders over and over. Now you can produce great artists, musicians, and writers, who then produce great works which get stored in wonders and buildings.
Evoked by clouds and rain.
Who knew Morocco was really home to Shakespeare, Van Gogh, and George Gershwin? On top of that, you also need to curate your great works. Specific wonders have different curation requirements, and you'll probably need to trade great works with other civs in order to meet those requirements. Once you do though, you'll get a nice boost to your tourism. On to number 3, it belongs in a museum. Now when you research archaeology, certain antiquity sites pop up on the map containing relics and trinkets from ancient battles from the early part of the game. Aside from just being a cool concept for a game that takes place over several thousand years, archaeology gives you a few more things to do in the mid-game. Once you've built archaeologists, you can either extract tourism-generating artifacts from those sites, or you can build them into culture-producing landmarks, which seem like a defensive move if another civ is going for that cultural victory. For my time with it, I didn't find it quite as cool as the Great Works system, since all the artifacts I found were these generic beads or arrowheads that don't usually fit into the curated wonders. But it's still another fun mechanic to play with on your quest for cultural victory. On to number 4, the World Congress giveth, and the World Congress taketh away. The diplomacy game has been retooled, and with it you now have the World Congress, which is typically established around the Renaissance era. This is basically an early form of the United Nations, but it does a great job of providing consistent diplomatic touchpoints from the middle of the game on through to the end. Once city-states get a vote in the Congress, I was able to shape a ton of resolutions to my will, thanks to my big treasury. I passed resolutions that provided a bonus to culture and a penalty to science, as well as the World's Fair and international games, which require combined production and give out some pretty significant perks. As the Congress went on, I became a little greedy, and after it turned to the United Nations, my city-state alliance started to become less powerful. In my hubris, I tried to get everyone to vote in freedom as the world's ideology, and I didn't make a whole lot of friends in the process. Please don't hurt me, Shaka. Now, on to number 5, the number where I try to cram in everything else that's in the game. This is probably the point where you're going to want to freeze frame and enhance on those tooltips. There's new social policy trees, and some of the existing trees have been redone. There's new buildings and new wonders. There's trade routes. There's even expansions to the religion and espionage systems from Gods and Kings. as well as the new ideology system, which provides a bunch of new bonuses to supplement your victory condition and helps shape the diplomatic endgame. So as I said, I only got about 10 hours with the preview build, but so far I'm really impressed and I cannot wait to see more. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't get to talk about, so if you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat below, and hopefully we'll find out those 2 remaining civs before the game launches in North America on July 9th and overseas on July 12th.